Wings are up 4-2 right now in Boston.
Alrighty, welcome back to another Wisco Fanatics Tuesday evening. Today we are discussing the Green Bay Packers, the more fun show that we're going to have this week, to be honest with you. But we have the Green Bay Packers win over the Detroit Lions last Thursday on Thanksgiving, and then we are going to preview the Packers' first matchup of 2025 with the Chicago Bears. So first time Packers and Bears are facing off this year, and it actually means a little bit of something, and we'll talk about it, but we're going to hit the intro and we'll get started with the recap.
Welcome to another episode of the Wisco Fanatics Show, where we cover the Packers, Bucks, Brewers, and Badgers basketball and football teams from an optimistic and realistic perspective.
Wisco Fanatics is brought to you by Cardboard Legacy, Wisconsin's most complete sports card shop. Buy, sell, grade, and consign all at their location in Oshkosh.
Alrighty, so starting with the recap of Packers and Lions on Thanksgiving, Jake, we're going to start with you and the pass rush.
Yeah, lots to talk about with the pass rush. Bryant already corrected something that I was going to say, so that's why we invited him back on the show this week. But talking about the pass rush.
Just strictly only to correct you.
Just strictly to correct me because I am horrible at my job. Packers had 3 sacks on Thanksgiving. 2.5 by Micah Parsons. He met Eningbare for another half a sack. So those two guys were balling absolutely. Micah Parsons was everywhere on Thursday. I think Jared Goff is still seeing Micah Parsons in his dreams after week 1.
Nightmares.
Good evening. Go back. Oh, the Bears still suck. I agree, JR. I saw 4 quarterback hits. That's per PFF. Cooper, Parsons, McDuffie, and McKinney all had 1 each. And then talking about pressures, Micah Parsons had 10 by himself. That's uncalled for.
Well, I heard I don't know if you'll have the stat, but I'll say it real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I heard a stat today that Micah Parsons now has 2 games with 10 pressures or more. The rest of the NFL has 3 total.
I did not have that stat, but that is amazing. Parsons, this is strictly just third down on Thursday. Parsons had 4 pressures and 1.5 sacks with a 38.5 pressure rate on third down. So he was coming to get them off the field. He was dominating. He's also the first player in NFL history. Obviously, it's hard to do that. You have to play for Detroit or Dallas to be able to do this. But he is the first player in NFL history to have at least 1 sack 5 straight years on Thanksgiving. So congratulations to him. That's awesome. But yeah. Parsons also became the first player in NFL history with at least 12 sacks in each of his first 5 seasons. So he wasn't
worth the trade or the contract by any stretch of the imagination.
No, not at all. Not worth it.
So I wanted to ask you guys a question because it got me thinking when I was writing these numbers down on Friday. I was like, I was looking up the franchise record for sacks, and the franchise record for sacks is 19.5, set in 1989. Do you guys think that Parsons can get to 20?
Not this year.
I'm not going to say no.
It's going to take some. It's going to take some monster game. And I'm not. I think it's possible.
Game until the end of the year.
I'm kind of looking at who we have left playing. Chicago Bears don't give up much sacks. Lamar Jackson is not the easiest person to sack. We get the Vikings again. That's great, and then we get Denver, who doesn't get. Bo Nix doesn't take a lot of sacks either. So I mean, I just think it's not. I think you can argue that. I would be more interested in what the record for pressure
is, that it's possible but unlikely.
Yeah, I'd also be interested what the pressure rate record is for the Packers because I think he could probably get to that. I don't know what it is, but I don't know that he'll get to 20. It's possible he could go off and have a huge Myles Garrett type game where he gets 4 sacks for sure, but I don't think it'll happen based looking at who we play left.
It's definitely possible, and I mean, like I'll give you the Bears' offensive line is improved, and we'll talk about that in the preview. But Caleb Williams does still at times hold the ball too long.
Not at times.
Yeah, but he's also really good at getting away from the sack.
He is very elusive. I was going to say, Bo Nix is also pretty elusive, and Lamar Jackson. So true.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. So.
You're going to be serious.
Anything else you got to say about the pass rush?
No, it's all good.
Okay, so when Jake brings up that he had a 35% pass rush win rate on just third downs alone, for reference, like 20% is really good. Mm-hmm. That alone is really good. So it'd be 35%. JR said he's not getting away from Parsons. I mean, that's a race I'd be interested to watch. And like I said, we'll talk about that. With Mike, like Jake said, he is a sack and a half away from his own career high for Micah Parsons. So Micah Parsons needs 1.5 sacks through the rest of the year to break his personal record. So I think that's definitely going to happen. The Packers defense, my bold prediction by Simon Says last week was that the Packers hold David Montgomery and Gibbs under 100 rushing yards. They had exactly 100 rushing yards. And the D-line was a big part of that. And honestly, the other big note that I had from the defensive line is that losing Devontae Wyatt is devastating, and I am gutted for him. We'll talk about it in the preview, but that's pretty much where I'm at with the defensive line. Simon, like I said, 100 rushing yards to Monty and Gibbs. How the Packers do against the run?
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but Jahmyr Gibbs did not have a good year versus the Packers. And here's my
a little bit, but
true. Here's the thing that I guess I don't understand is I feel like with the way Evan Williams and Cooper and we didn't have Quay this week. You'd think they run up the middle a little bit more. They tried a lot of outside runs, and it worked a little bit on like the left side. I think he had 6 carries for like 52 yards, but the rest of he had about 20 carries for a total of 68 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs, and he wasn't particularly great in the passing game either. I don't know what it is. They absolutely bottled him up this year. They did a great job holding Gibbs to pretty ineffective overall numbers. Montgomery had 8 carries for 32 yards, which is pretty pedestrian, excuse me. And they also had a tackle for loss on Jameson Williams for -5 yards on his only attempt. I think we'll get there, but Bryant definitely owes McDuffie an apology.
I forgot we were going to start the show with that.
Who had the bold prediction that would hold them to 100 rushing yards or less? That was a great call, Tyler. Yeah.
I thought McDuffie and Cooper were both very good in run defense. McDuffie had 5 total stops. Cooper had 2, and both of them had an average depth of tackle of 1 yard. So they were basically meeting them at the line of scrimmage during their tackle attempts.
Holy hell, dude!
The run defense was great this week. I think the longest rush they had was
Cooper, and he was reading what the Lions were doing basically as soon as the ball was snapped.
The longest rush they had was Jared Goff on a scramble play.
Yeah.
That would have been a crazy bold prediction. Let's say that right now.
Yeah.
Bryant, so speaking of linebackers.
Yeah, so kind of like Simon alluded to, Isaiah McDuffie now has played his best 2 games in a row as a Packer for sure. There's no question.
I agree.
Hold on. Toyota-thon Isaiah McDuffie.
So he's played outstanding. He backed up his performance. He had 10 tackles and 7 run stops, which is insane. So Edge Cooper was decent as well. He did have 6 tackles and 2 run stops. He did have missed tackle. And then actually Tyron Hopper added another 2 tackles as well. The one thing I thought was interesting is if you look at PFF grades, 3 of the top 5 grades were actually the linebackers. So they played well along the line of the scrimmage. We're going to need it. I won't jump into this week too much, but we're going to need it again this week, especially with, like Tyler said, losing Devontae Wyatt is really unfortunate. So they still struggle a little bit in coverage, but it's hard when they're doing a lot of quick throws. I'll say Cooper did give up 32 yards after the catch, so he got kind of beat on a crosser, if I remember right, or something like that. And then so they were 7 for 9 against them in coverage. But, I mean, a lot of times when that does happen, you see McDuffie a couple times smoke someone right after they catch the ball. That's fine. I'll talk more about what I think they should do this week. But overall, a really good game by the linebackers. I'm hoping we get Quay Walker back this week.
Yeah. All right. 3rd and 4th down defense.
Yeah, so 3rd and 4th down really determined this game, and it really makes me go back to think about the games that we played against them last year when 4th down really determined a lot of things against them last year as well. This year, the script was flipped, though, where we were the ones successful, and we'll get to that later, and they were the ones unsuccessful. So in terms of 3rd down, they went 8 of 13 overall. They did score 3 touchdowns on 3rd downs. third and short situations. Their first touchdown was the direct snap, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about later, to Monty. And then the other touchdown they gave up on a third down was the missed tackle by Valentine. That's just – I don't want to – beat a dead horse, because I'm sure everybody's got their thoughts out since last week, Thursday, on that. But that is the one thing holding Valentine back from getting a big payday, in my opinion, because he can cover with the best of them.
You got to wrap it up.
Dude, stop with the shoulder stuff.
It would have been such a great play. And he just,
yeah.
all he did was launch himself like a torpedo.
He did everything except finish the play. He did everything except finish the play. Did all of it. And like I said, I don't want to be a dead horse because, again, people have talked about it enough. But they went 3 for 3 in the first half from third and short, 2 for 2 from third and medium. One of the third and mediums that they picked up was the longest rush of the day, was a Goff scramble, which you don't really expect Jared Goff to be running, is what I wrote down. Jared Goff's not known as a scrambler. Third and long, they went 1 for 3. One of the third downs they didn't get was the sack I mentioned before by Parsons and Enagbare. Just an absolute crazy play. Good play by the defensive line to step up there. Getting into fourth down stuff. So fourth down was a big down for this game. It was pretty much a storyline in my opinion. One of the fourth downs that we stopped him on was Parsons just absolutely destroying and making a monster sack. A good IQ read by him, in my opinion, to read like, oh, okay, this is all coming towards me. I'm just going to loop around and use my speed. Yeah, a lot of people are big, fast, and strong in the NFL. Not everybody has the IQ, and I think that Parsons is one of those guys we need to start mentioning his football IQ a little bit more, in my opinion. And then they had a drop on fourth down, and that, in my opinion, you can call it a drop, and yes, he probably should have caught it, but that was a terrible ball by Jared Goff. If he would have hit him in the hands, he should have caught it. I agree, but he probably runs up the field if he catches that, and it's a good ball, man. He might score a touchdown, seriously.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But we did get 2 stops, 0 for 2 on fourth down, and that's the name of the game.
I think it's super funny to watch Lions fans questioning their fourth down decision making the whole week since then.
Oh yeah.
Do they do that? They do that.
Why are we taking the point?
They were doing
Why
it
are
the
we
week
taking the
before
points?
too.
Yeah, because I don't know if you guys saw that. They're like 0 for 7 on fourth downs in like the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, they've not.
They went 0 for 5 against the Eagles.
Damn.
Giants.
Yeah, back to the Valentine.
Or yeah, I'm sorry, the Giants. The Giants. My bad.
Because I should have talked about the tackling, but even if Valentine's like, oh, I don't want to put a lot of body weight into like another person's body weight because I don't want to get injured, dude, just grab his ankles, like literally just wrap up his ankles.
Yeah,
make him try to pull his feet out from you.
Dude.
Do something there because that was such a great play read and he just whiffed it.
You read it perfectly.
Bro, even if he does the thing where he just tries to latch onto the ball and is pulling the ball, your buddies are going to come over there and help you, man. So
you can slow him up.
Literally just run into him and bear hug him.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, do the Antonio Brown on the field goal stanchion.
Hey, Jameson Williams did that versus the Lions. Got flagged for it.
All right, secondary.
Yeah, kind of talked about Valentine enough, but I think in silver lining of that, I think it shows how good Carrington Valentine has been in terms of reading and coverage. He knew exactly what the play was and met him at the line of scrimmage, and like you said, you just have to wrap him up. Overall, though, I thought this was maybe one of the weaker games by the secondary for the year. They allowed 20 for 25 completions, and 2 of them were drops. They had 2 penalties, no forced incompletions, and allowed 2 touchdowns through the air. I don't know what to say. I just think it just wasn't their strongest performance.
Yeah, that's fair. Red zone defense.
So red zone defense, let's talk about this. So first drive, they get down there. Monty takes over the last 3 plays. He gets an 8-yard run, a 3-yard run on second down. Now they're at 3rd and 4, and they do a direct snap. And everybody's like, "Oh, everybody should know that Monty was going to run it in." I'm like, "Dude, have you not watched the Lions game ever? They had Jared Goff out wide. They've thrown it to Jared Goff before, and Monty has thrown the ball plenty in his life."
Yeah.
So
they literally threw the ball back to Jared Goff in another play in this game.
They did. I literally got into an argument with a Packers fan. He was like, "You should have known that Monty was going to run the ball." Dude, you can't know that for sure. You cannot talk in absolutes, okay? That's the first thing. But whatever. He runs it in, touchdown Lions, okay? And the most annoying thing to start this game is that every time it felt like the Packers took control, the Lions were responding to their credit, I will say. They were responding with a touchdown to our touchdown. Well, the second red zone drive or trip, I should say, was literally just one play. It was a 17-yard touchdown to Tesla. That was a really good play design. I don't need to explain it. Everybody's seen it, but that was elite play design in my opinion. Really good strike by Jared Goff, touchdown.
They had good protection on that play too.
Yep. And then you get to the third drive because we held them to 2 for 3. Get to the third drive, and that's where Micah's IQ and he flexed his muscles. Well, first they had a direct snap to Monty. They came out in the same formation, but Monty threw the ball this time. So then I went back to that tweet and I was like, "See?" And then the guy didn't respond.
Classic.
Right. I'll tell you that story later. Second and goal, Wooden got a pass breakup. So really good play recognition by Wooden, knocking the ball down, forcing them into a third and down. Now they're scrambling because they have to score at this point with time and where they're at. They don't want to lose, go to 1-3 in the division, which we force them to. So I had a great Thanksgiving. You get the third down, right? Third and goal at the 4. Micah Parsons, -9 yards on the sack. Oh, that sack was so sweet, man. Oh, just thinking about it just makes me happy, dude. That's all I gotta say.
The first one was super funny because like he came from Goff's blind side and just like annihilated him.
Dude.
And then the second one, it's just like Goff's just got to see him coming down the pipe and just be like, "Fuck,
dude."
Crunch. Like
he's looking, and all of a sudden number 1. Oh, damn.
That guy's not on my team.
That's the wrong number 1.
All right. Brian, how did you feel about special teams?
Yeah, overall, I thought they played a decent game. Good on McManus. It's really big to hit that first field goal for the 45-yarder for one. That's been a testy for us, like distance for us. If you don't make that kick, that could be a momentum boost swing. The crowd probably goes, gets really into it. Yes, I know, Tyler. But a huge kick by McManus just to make the 45-yarder and then make all his extra points. I'll say I wasn't a huge fan of. We kept kind of kicking in it for touchbacks. I feel like our kick coverage has been really good all year. So I was happy to see in the second half we stopped giving them free touchbacks because I would say we were fighting field position for the first quarter of the game or so. We did give up one bigger punt return, but our kick coverage was pretty good overall. I'll say we missed Savion returning kicks. So other than that, just that's 2 solid games in a row. Keep stacking success. We'll need it again. I'll let Jake talk about the weather this weekend, but it's not going to be easy to kick in, outdoors here coming soon. So, just keep stacking that success.
So one thing I saw this week was the average difference in average field position was like 6 yards between us and the Lions, with the Lions having the advantage.
Yeah, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a decent amount.
But if you do it over every drive, it starts adding up.
Yeah, and then
per drive. Okay.
Oh, that's per drive. Yeah, so good point. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, per drive, not total.
Yeah, and I would say that was probably heavily weighted in the first quarter. So good job by our defense not letting them, and also good job by our offense when they were pinned way back. That's for second drive. They went all the way down the field. So
yeah.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Jumping into the offense, let's start with the tight ends.
Yeah. I will say this is how you utilize Luka Musgrave. I know he only had 1 catch for 23 yards, but that's exactly how, they should utilize him. Huge catch, diving catch down the sideline on a long crosser for 23 yards. He outsnapped the other tight ends this week with 36 snaps. Wiley had 32 snaps, and Fitzpatrick ended up with 15. And the other 2 ended up failing to catch their lone targets. But I thought Musgrave also, this is back-to-back weeks where I thought he had a pretty good blocking grades.
I like how they're using Wiley too.
I do too. I think they're doing a good job. I think he'll end up having a game where he's going to end up having like 30 or 40 yards.
Yeah.
And then maybe a touchdown.
Yeah, I think we found our number 3 tight end going into next year with Wiley for sure.
Yeah.
Depending on what happens with Musgrave, he might even move to our number 2.
And it also depends on Kraft's health.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it'll be. I love seeing the way that they use Josh Wiley as a lead blocker. It's awesome, and you could almost even mix him in as like a fullback a little bit too. With Musgrave too, like Simon, you brought up a really good point with using him in a certain way that they did. If you put a linebacker on Luke Musgrave, that's a mismatch.
Yep.
Musgrave is fast enough to get away from linebackers. He showed it by getting away from Alex Anzalone, who is a pretty solid linebacker in the NFL.
Yeah.
All right, wide receivers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else I can say other than hell of a game for the most part. I mean, especially from Wicks. Like, he's weird, man. He'll disappear for a while, and then he'll have a game. You're like, this guy's the best wide receiver on the team. It's wild. I mean, 2 huge touchdown catches. Both of them were, I mean, that first one, you can cry all you want and say his feet weren't down. Stop clipping the second part. His foot was in the end zone when the ball hit into his hands. Like, I'm sure we would be upset too, I guess, if they said it was against us. Be like, oh, how did he secure it so quick? His foot was on the ground when the ball hit the hands. What else did they go off of? And then he secured it pretty much immediately. And then he got his second foot in. It was an amazing catch.
Complaining that the ball was moving, but he only moves it to bring it from his hand into his body.
Yeah.
It touches, like the tip of the ball goes into the palm of his left hand, and the tip of the ball stays in his left hand the entire time.
Yeah.
So amazing catch by him. Amazing throw, by the way. That's just one of those throws where you're just like, what the? So then even a second touchdown, though, really heads up play hit by him on third down to then catch that ball secure and then dive and then reach it over the goal line. Because otherwise we're sitting there at 4th and a half or 1 yard and everyone assumes run. So then it becomes a little tricky of what you do there. So great job by Wicks. And then he seals the with a crazy catch with one shoe. Like how you keep running with losing your shoe like that, like a cleat that goes up to your ankle.
He was going up.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's wild. And then so he was 6 out of 7 targets he caught for 94 yards and 2 touchdowns. So just amazing game by him. Watson had kind of an interesting game. He didn't get credited with any drops, but I could argue that he had 2 of them. The one on that third down before Wicks's catch, and then one where he was running down the sideline and Jordan Loveday hit him in the hands and it bounced off his hands. Would have been a hell of a catch, but it hit him in the hands. I bet you Watson would tell you he should catch that. But then he makes up for it with an absolute great deep catch. And for the cornerback that's crying in the damn locker room afterwards, dude, that's barely hand fighting. You reach out and grabbed his hand way like that. That's normal contact in the NFL. We see that all the time. He did not shove you forcibly at all. And then he
ran a hand gently caressing his back.
Yeah. He said he was rubbing his back asleep. He was saying, "It's okay, baby. I'm gonna catch this and go in the end zone. You can go take a break." like great, 51-yard touchdown. We have not seen much of that from this year. Our long touchdowns have been like Kraft destroying people and running down the field. We have not seen a lot of deep bombs for touchdowns this year. Yep. We've missed some shots. Golden has had opportunities. Dobbs has had some opportunities.
In the end zone on a 4th and long.
Yeah, it was nice to see this completed. So Watson 4 for 80, 1 touchdown. He just continues the ball out since he came back. And then Dobbs was okay. He did have the 4 catches. He did have the touchdown, which is great. But really good on Rasheed Walker for covering up that fumble. That was a huge point in the game right there. Heads up play by him. I mean, I can't blame Dobbs too much because Jordan throws him a hospital ball and he gets absolutely destroyed right after catching it. So, but good job I'm glad Dobbs is okay for 1, and 2, good job by Rasheed Walker.
I want to give a shout out to Romeo Dobbs real quick. Only wide receiver this year to be active and healthy for every single game. Yep. So that I do not want to go unnoticed.
Good call.
Yeah, that's a good point. And then this is going to get really interesting if Reed, Golden, and Savion comes back this week. I don't think there's room for Malik on this roster.
Nope. I don't think so either.
And it sucks because I think we could see a team in our division or conference pick him up because he's still a decent wide receiver, but you got Melton already as a 7th one chilling on defense. You can't hold like essentially 8 wide receivers on this offense. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
fine with they let him go. I mean, I don't know.
He was the only one credited with a drop for
PFF.
PFF,
Yeah.
but it was on that fumble quick throw play.
I don't think Malik's going to be back next year anyways.
No, I think he's good enough to where he probably needs a change of scenery and go play somewhere, and maybe he might have. He's never going to be a baller.
He'll be. I think he'll be like a solid like wide receiver 4 for someone.
Number 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I don't even know that he gets the 3.
4 would probably be more like it.
Yeah. But hey, I thought it wasn't cool for guys to wear the Guardian cap. So, should we just stop doing that? Justin asked, not sure if you guys have addressed it, but can we give Watson his flowers for his blocking abilities?
We talked about it, yeah.
Yeah, we definitely did last week for sure.
Yep.
Not specifically this week, but we definitely talk about it when we talk about needing Watson healthy, because that is an aspect that he brings.
He's
Steve asked any updates on Reed and Golden. We'll let Brian do that when we get into the preview and we get to the injury designations to watch. Looking at the passing game distribution, Brian ran through the players' targets, the wide receivers, the guys that led the team. There were 10 different players targeted. 6 of them were targeted one time. 6 of those 10 did have receptions, led by the guys that Brian talked about in the receiving. Looking at the distribution of the depth of target, Jordan Love was 1 for 1 behind the line of scrimmage. Again, awesome. If that number is below like 4, I'm happy. I said it last week and the week before. I don't want to see that number around like 7. That's excessive. That's just hoping that you're going to get a guy to break a tackle or, get perfect blocking. And I don't like betting on that. I'd rather have Jordan Love throwing the ball down the field. Jordan Love from 0 to 9 yards was 10 of 14 with a drop, had 2 more touchdowns in there. He had 3 for 7 from 10 to 19 and 4 for 7 from 20 plus. I love that we took more shots down the field this game, something the guys were calling for during the Vikings game. But Love was kind of playing safe that game, playing conservative. This game, not the case. Throwing the ball down the field, Love had 2 touchdowns with 20 plus air yards. So I love that. Looking at the 0 to 9 and 10 to 19, looking at 10 completions versus 3 completions. Those 3 completions produced 51 yards. Those 10 completions produced 52 yards. So again, we're talking about 7 more completions. Obviously, I get that it's a shorter, distance of target, but just let Jordan Love cook, dude. Like, let him sling the ball. So that's really where I'm at with the offense.
Well, that's kind of what I was saying last week when we were like complaining about the game plan versus Minnesota. I was like, this game plan is not going to be the same versus Detroit. You can't play that way versus them.
Yeah.
And maybe they could have. I mean,
they ran the ball pretty well. Yeah. Don't be surprised if it kind of regress back to what we did against Minnesota here next week. I
would be very surprised.
I don't think I think maybe the second game against the Bears, like if the Packers come and beat the Bears out by 15 points or something like that this week, then maybe the Sunday night football game 3 weeks from now, maybe they're a little more conservative. But
I not to get ahead too much, I don't expect us to take the Bears offense as lightly as we took the Vikings offense, and that won't influence Matt LaFleur to go into that unless we're up by like 4 scores or something in the fourth quarter,
right.
And then we're just like running the ball to waste time. Yep. Then maybe I could see it.
Yep. Scott said it was a great game. Score was pretty close, and we're going to be the same thing this week. Yep. He brought up Cox, Lloyd, Reed, and a few more returning. Those are the 3 main ones that were designated for return. Going forward, the offensive line.
Yeah, overall, I thought they played a pretty decent game. I thought they did really good in the run game. This was the first time they rolled with the same offensive line throughout the whole thing. Kind of like we've been talking about, Kennard's been coming in. So one little nugget I found is he did come in for 14 snaps. And I think I said last week it's going to be interesting when they start to throw off of it, because last week against Minnesota it was like 20 for 21. They ran out of it. This time they ran out of it 11 out of the 14. The one thing I did notice is 2 of the 3 throws were deep shots to Christian Watson down the right side of the field. So both of them came on first down. So I think they're trying to like set that up a little bit so that if we know that, more than likely the Bears and other teams know that too. So I expect them to kind of maybe flip it up a little bit. Maybe we see this on a 2nd and 1 where they, where they have that free shot or something like that. But yeah, Kennard played 14 more snaps. It is interesting if you look at PFF that they stuck with Belton the whole time because his PFF grades were pretty awful. He wasn't all that great in the run game. I know Matt LaFleur says he seems like I trust Matt LaFleur's eyes more than a PFF grade. If Matt LaFleur is saying they're getting better push with Belton, I'm going to trust Matt LaFleur. However, he did allow 6 pressures, which is not ideal from the interior offensive line because that's where pressures come from the quickest. So now, granted, he was on the side where Hutch was, and they're probably running a lot of stunts and everything over there. And they, but,
still got to be better.
Yeah, it's got to be better. So, overall, though, good performance, no sacks. We'll take that all day.
Also, can we have a conversation
about Hutchinson?
Can we? Yeah, we can have a conversation about Hutchinson, how he should never be in the same breath as Micah Parsons ever again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give him some leeway because no. He is coming off an ACL and not everyone reacts or adjusts the same way as some do. So I will look more next year.
The whole season though.
No, I know that, and he was good like the first part, but like we don't know if he's like getting overworked in a way where his ACL is not 100%.
Don't forget to look at what happened with Rashawn Gary last year. He came out the gates firing like crazy, and then he didn't produce really in the second half and we think it could have been because of ACL. He's kind of already doing the same this year too. So I do think Hutchinson is very good. Micah Parsons, people need to accept Micah is better at this point. Yes, but I
agree.
think significant and still get there. But I'm sick of hearing that Micah is not. I heard it again today. He's not good in run defense. I'm like, you're not watching the games.
Yeah.
You listen to what Jerry Jones said, and you're taking that as gospel because Jerry Jones is making crap up because he realized how people like right after the trade are like, is this guy stupid? Like, what is happening?
Well,
yeah.
I will say though, it's somewhat worked out for them in a way where they ended up getting Quinnen Williams. Yeah, Quinnen Williams. Sorry, I was about to say Quincy. Quinnen Williams, and then they also opened up a ton of cap space if they wanted instead of using it on Micah Parsons, they're going to use the cap space on George Pickens, and they gave up a third for him.
Playing well now, and
he's been phenomenal for him.
But the point I'm trying to make is the only reason people are like, "Oh, he's not good at run defense," is that's because what Jerry Jones said.
Yeah, it's a preconceived notion that people are not willing to change their mind on.
Yep.
Yeah, Justin brought up that nobody gets used the multiple ways that Parsons does. He's so versatile, and I think that goes to the point of like where he lines up. I don't think Parsons is going to catch Myles Garrett. So if we're talking, if we're talking pass rushers of the NFL, it's Myles Garrett, it's Micah Parsons, and then everybody else is way down here below where you can't even see.
Yeah, Myles Garrett's been on an absolute another planet this year.
He's set the record this year, man.
I think so.
Yeah. Scott's getting a little ahead of some of the defensive line stuff we'll talk about, but how about the run game?
Yeah, this was a pretty good game. I mean, it seemed like almost non-existent just because of how Jordan Love played. But overall, it was pretty good. Jacobs had 17 carries for 83 yards, 57 yards after contact, forced 4 missed tackles. Wilson had 4 for 14. He had 11 yards after contact. Bo Melton had 2 end rounds for 15 yards. Wicks took snap for 6 yards. Watson had 1 for 3, and Love had 5 for 4. Total, they took 30 rushes for 125 yards for 4.2 yards per attempt. And like I said, it seemed pretty quiet, but I thought it did a lot for like the play action game. It did enough for the play action game to become effective.
Yeah, which is like really all you can ask for. That's really all I'm asking for.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about the coaching aspect of it, but the fact that the Packers ran 30 times and passed 30 times, and it didn't feel like the run game overshadowed the passing game, or that they were trying to force the running game on us, like not even just forcing it on their opponent, but like forcing us to watch, like, hey, we're going to be a team that runs the ball. Like, watch us run the ball. Like, that's how it felt in some of these games in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
Third and fourth down offense.
So, third and fourth down offense, 6 of 12 overall on third down overall, as I couldn't say that word. 3 of 3 on fourth down. Third and short, they picked up 4 of their 6 third down conversions on third and short. 1 yard, 1 yard, 2 yard, 2 yard. Love that. They also picked up 2 third mediums overall, both 3rd and 5. One of them, he hit Wicks on a 3rd and 5, and he got 18 yards on it. Dontavian Wicks was the goddamn man on Thursday. They only had 2 of their 12 attempts from 3rd and long, 10 yards and 9 yards. Didn't pick up either of them, unfortunately, after we heard that they were the number 1 team on 3rd and long. They've kind of been in my opinion. Then you get the fourth down. Love with an absolute just beautiful pass to Dontavian Wicks for a touchdown that Brian did a nice job talking about. Also, a really nice game plan adjustment by Matt LaFleur to put Love into a bunch hit situation to the left side, knowing how the Giants were going to react to it with man coverage and having Dobbs just jut out right to the left side and get into the touchdown. And then the other fourth down that they picked up was the one for game by Dontavian Wicks. I don't know if you guys noticed this. I actually saw this on social media. But Wiley goes over there while Wicks is on the ground, and Wiley's doing one of these, and he's doing a Monra St. Brown's first down celebration. And I'm like, oh, yeah, we still don't like them, huh? Okay, I like that a lot. So 3 for 3.
I seen a Detroit Lions fan crying about that.
Yeah.
Good.
I saw that too.
Dude, he got famous off doing that headstand thing. So, I mean, whatever.
Am I weird for thinking that that's not cool? Like, ooh,
I don't think it's anything special. I mean,
it was just because it was against the Packers, really.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys noticed, this is random, but like whenever they show highlights of players on like Fox or ESPN or whatever, they always show the players in Lambeau Field, dude. Every freaking time. You can notice the yellow railing.
If we're being honest, what would we say is the best venue in sports?
I mean, I'm not disagreeing, but they always show players in Lambeau Field.
That's what you get when you have the best stadium.
That's true.
You want to show them off where they're at the best. All right, looking at the red zone, this is pretty short. They were 2 for 2. The first trip was set up by that Luke Musgrave catch. Gave them a 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line. Got a couple runs. Got a 12-man penalty on the Lions that set them up 4th and 1 at the 2-yard line. That was the Romeo Doubs touchdown. The second trip started a 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line. Had a couple 5-yard passes to Romeo Doubs. He fumbled the second one. Rasheed Walker recovered it. Also added a defensive face mask. Packers had a 2-yard run to the 1-yard line with Josh Jacobs. And second goal at the 1-yard line, Jordan Love threw one of his 2 touchdowns to Dontavian Wicks. So the Packers were 2 for 2 in the red zone. 100% is always good. And the Packers won the game. So I'm not going to be like, oh, they needed to get more chances in the red zone. For scoring from outside the red zone, fucking awesome. And for scoring from in the red zone at the same time, awesome. No complaints. All right. Jumping into, let's do Jordan Love first, and then we'll talk coaching. Simon, how did you feel about Jordan Love?
Yeah, I think overall he kind of started off pretty slow, and he missed a couple, I think, gimmies in this game. The Melton one down the sideline where he drew up the linebacker and he was wide open, and he missed a crosser to Watson. But then after that, I thought he was absolutely phenomenal. And every time they needed him to make a play during this game, he made a play. And I feel like not every throw was a gimme during this game. He had a total of, I think, 10. Hold on, let me confirm before I'm talking out my side. He had a total of 9 contested catches thrown during this game. So not everything was a gimme, and I thought the wide receivers did a good job of coming up with some of those. But, I mean, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 0 turnover-worthy plays. And every time the Lions responded. I thought Jordan Love and the offense responded right back very well. And I don't think he wins the MVP this year because Drake May's playing out of his mind right now. And I think Jordan,
and Stafford.
Yeah, Stafford too. Sorry, no disrespect. But if they win out and Jordan Love does this every week, I think he's very much in that conversation as well. Also, Toyotathon.
Yeah, I still think Jordan Love would be behind Drake May for potential MVP conversations. But
yeah,
Love is in 4th place right now.
Behind JT.
He's behind Drake May. Drake May is winning. He's minus 135. This is on DraftKings. Matthew Stafford is plus 125. Dak Prescott is plus 1,500.
Dak's playing good ball too. I know a lot of people don't like Dak Prescott, but he's a good quarterback.
He does it every year.
I think we've been pretty complimentary of him.
He's
I think a lot of casual maybe football fans don't see it the same way. Like they hate the Cowboys, so therefore Dak's garbage. But
he does have a good talent around him.
Yeah, he does. He does.
I can't think of a time he hasn't played with like top end wide receiver talent.
Even like Jake Ferguson's been good.
Yeah.
You could use the same argument though. He's playing with a bad defense. It's not just offense. You know what I mean? So like it's almost like the Rodgers situation when our defense was bad and Rodgers was carrying us. You know, so it's the same thing in 2014.
Do you got not to get too far off topic, but do you guys think Dallas ends up winning that division? I think they have a solid shot.
I don't think
if they win on Thursday. If they win on Thursday, it gets fucking real, dude.
Yeah. I think Phillies is out there crapping themselves.
They definitely have to beat Philly in their second game in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Or no, they've already played twice, didn't they?
Because they played early in the season. They
played the opening game and they lost.
Yep.
They lost week 1. So I don't know.
We talked about it too. Like if you swap Dak and Hurts, the Eagles become way better.
Bro, I said that. So. I said that after week 1, dude. Yep. The Eagles would be the best team in the league, not even close, dude. Yeah. And Justin, I agree with you. He said Dak has a receiving core that's wild though. What was 2014 Green Bay? We had 2 guys with 1,200 yards. That's a crazy receiving core.
Yeah. Steve said Dak needs a Super Bowl run to turn into the newest form of Matt Ryan. I mean, that's not even I don't even think that's a bad take.
No, I don't think so.
Dude, Steve doesn't have bad takes.
Hall of Famer.
Steve doesn't have bad takes. That's a hot take for you. Steve doesn't have bad takes.
He's like a cusp guy for me. Yeah. Like he's did well enough in his career, but like he's like a very good QB to me, not a Hall of Fame guy.
Yeah, I think it's funny how we obviously talked about the Lions because that's where the Packers played this week, and you mentioned MVP stuff and talk about Matt Stafford, probably the front runner. Matt Stafford leaves Detroit, wins a Super Bowl, and now might win an MVP also.
Yeah. I always think it's funny when Lions fans are like, "Oh, the trade was very even." Like, I don't know.
The instant the Rams won the Super Bowl,
it's not looking like it.
Yeah, Steve said I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys get a lot better in the next 5 years.
Same.
They could really use like a really good edge rusher.
Yeah.
Probably the one thing they're missing from
the problem is they need to get better before the next 5 years.
They need secondary help so bad.
I don't know how old Dak Prescott is, but
he's not too old. I don't think. I think he's like 30.
Yeah,
something like that. Brian, what did you think about Jordan Love?
He's 32. He's not like super old. He's getting he's
older,
older than I thought for sure.
Well, he's not old for a quarterback by any means.
Yeah, but if they need to be better,
there.
You don't want to get really good when he's 37.
Yeah, I mean, the Rams are good with Stafford at 37.
The Packers got really good with Rodgers at 37.
Yeah. So shut up, Bryant.
Okay, fine. Anyways, so Jordan Love.
McDuffie's a good player, Bryant.
Just bring back Royce Newman too.
Oh hell no!
I wonder if
what was the other offensive line?
We need help at defensive tackle. I wonder if we can get Lancaster off the couch.
We're freaking Dean Lowry, dude.
Yeah. Hey, Dean Lowry was okay.
Yeah, he had a couple of good years.
Lancaster was bad, but Lowry was okay.
Lancaster was bad.
Anyway, so Jordan Love, man, I don't know what he just loves turkey or something. This dude absolutely cooks on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I know it's Toyotathon too, but yeah, just he started off a little shaky, 4 of 11 at one point or whatever with a couple off throws, but then he just kind of went on absolute fire. I mean, there's a couple throws that are just disgusting. The throw to Wicks for the touchdown is a disgusting throw. The throw to Wicks on the fourth down where he has pressure in his face is a disgusting throw. To throw that outside the numbers, make sure it gets to where it's going, and he still catch it, put it in a position where only his guy can get the hands on the ball. That's gross. And I don't know, dude, they're attacking the outside right now, and I swear like 3 or 4 catches a game, I'm like, oh, he was out of bounds. And they're like, oh, nope, he was in bounds. I'm like, what the hell? Like, they're playing on a very fine line there, but they seem to be very good at it right now. Just really 2 good outside throws on the touchdowns to Dobbs and Wicks. I know he said, I think he probably wish he would have led Wicks a little more on that one, but Wicks made a good play for him, and he still put the ball in the position to be caught. I mean, the throw to Luke Musgrave was a great throw, put it in a position where only Luke could go get it. Great catch, yes, but he still's got to throw it out there. So I feel like he had a couple bad throws early on. He shook it off, and then he just absolutely cooked the rest of the game. It's like there was one throw to Wicks where he absolutely it's an absolute cannon. The missile that he throws in between defenders, I'm like, holy.
To beat that safety. Yeah,
I mean, and good on Wicks to catch that ball because it was coming at 100 miles an hour, I swear. But like, just the overall, really, he's locked in right now. So hopefully he keeps it up.
Steve said, I think I saw Love has the best quarterback rating all time after week 11. I mean, could be. I don't know that for sure, but Justin,
I think I saw something similar earlier.
So far,
in the game right now.
Got it right here, boys. Got it right here. Don't worry.
There's a Toyota-thon number. Yep.
Jake, go ahead.
Something like crazy, like 33 touchdowns and 1 interception.
Yeah, career as starter, week 11 or later, wins and losses 14-5, a 67.2 completion percentage, 34 touchdowns to 2 picks, and a 110.5 rating. The touchdown interception, the pass rating are best of all time. Jordan Love during Toyota-thon is 33 touchdowns, 1 interception, 31 deep completions, first in the NFL, 4,005 yards, and a 91.9 passing grade. That's from PFF. This one's from Zach Jacobson. People have different opinions about him. I like him. I think he's a cool guy.
Yeah, I'm fine with him.
2,000. This is Jordan Love's ranks among quarterbacks when throwing from a clean pocket. 2,214 yards, 4th. 19 touchdowns, 4th. 9.3 yards per attempt, 2nd. 81.1 completion rate, 1st. 15 big-time throws, tied for 3rd. And 130.3 passer rating, 1st. All your opinions about Jordan Love, you can shove them out the window or up your ass. I don't care where you put them, but if they're bad, get them out of here. Honestly. All those people that were questioning him early in the season, we need to stop with that. Let's put that to bed. This is the 3rd year as a starter, and he's just winning big-time games. At this point, you have to know he's a 4th quarter player, dude. He shines in the biggest moments. He doesn't care about that October crap, man. November and December, that's where Jordan Love thrives.
But he threw an interception against the 49ers in the playoffs.
He has 3 picks this year.
That was also the fact that people keep bringing up the 49ers thing. That was 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, that's insane that people bring that up.
So,
1st year as a starter.
I looked at it earlier.
Got to modernize the.
They say he had 3 against Philly last year, fine, but he was trying to force things to happen.
He was. So Jordan Love is 156 passing yards away from passing the Magic Man for 6th all-time passing yards in team history. So pretty excited about him to be able to do that against the Bears. What do I think about Jordan Love versus the Lions? I think that Matt LaFleur finally took the goddamn training wheels off.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, it was so nice. He's dropping dimes. And my favorite part about the game, also, I mean, the touchdowns obviously were very exciting. My favorite part about the game is that we tried to throw deep to Watson twice. And Jordan Love underthrew it. The 3rd one, he was like, all right. I was yelling at my team. I'm like, Jordan, throw that bitch out there, man. Let him go get it, man. Like, just put some air into the son of a bee, man. He just launches it. And 9 just runs underneath it. That's the good 9 in the division, by the way. Goes underneath it and catches it. And I'm just like, finally. So Jordan Love making the adjustments in the game was my favorite part of Jordan Love's game last Thursday. So if he's able to do that, he's using his feet a little bit more. Obviously, the shoulder, he's been fighting through that. Apparently he's got what is it? What is his shoulder injury again? Forgot what it is. Anybody know?
Separated shoulder.
I forgot what it's called.
He
It's the same
separated
thing
it.
that Baker Mayfield has.
The AC
Sprained AC
joint.
joint. Sprained
Yeah,
AC
that's what
joint,
it is.
essentially.
That's what it is. Sorry, I was having a brain fart and I couldn't think of sprained AC joints, apparently. But that's what he's been fighting through. So for him to be able to fight through that and still drop dimes 30 yards down the field, 50 yards on the field is insane to me. The toughness that he's showing, he had to show up in Toyotathon. We all know that, right?
We should have put a Toyotathon counter on the beginning of the show.
Dude, I need Jordan Love to win a Super Bowl so bad because Bears fans used to be tortured with the discount double check from State Farm because they owned every commercial. And you know Toyota has so much money and so many commercials. I think they lean into the Jordan Love Toyotathon thing if he wins a Super Bowl.
Could we cook up a Jordan Love Toyotathon celebration?
Oh,
Like,
dude, that's
like
a
he
good
throws
idea.
a touchdown and then he's just like, like I don't know, something.
Leave it to the professionals, Tyler.
Let's go. What do you call it? Chat GPT or whatever.
Yeah.
Grok. Something.
Cook up a Jordan
Some.
Love Toyotathon celebration.
I'll
Steve,
find
I heard
one.
Colin Cowherd at the Packers. It's number 3 in his top 10 after week 13. What do you guys think?
I think Colin Cowherd sucks.
Yeah, he's got like one good
he's a
take
moron.
for every 10 bad ones.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we'll call that.
Three-
That's why I'll
I
be
don't
talking
know,
about how much
man.
the Packers sucked at the beginning of the year. I wouldn't listen to him too much.
3's tough. But I mean, I could see it. If
I think they're-
we're playing well, I think we're a top 3 team. But
I
there's
think
just
in
a lot of
general, they're probably around
inconsistency.
like 5.
Yeah.
All right. For me, looking at Jordan Love, Justin said Jordan Love Toyotathon celebration AI in the works as we speak. So
Literally
I
doing it right now.
That the Packers threw 30 times, ran 30 times, but it felt like more. Jordan Love credited with 4 big time throws and, like Simon said, 0 turnover worthy plays. And I think even with 30 throws, he showed that there's enough to go around. Obviously, like I said, 6 of the 10 players that he targeted only had 1 target. And obviously Watson had 10, Wicks had 7, and Dobbs had 4. Guys are talking in the comments about Reed and Golden, and mentioned Savion being back. It's a great problem to have that you have guys you want to get the ball to. We saw it, very often where we have a quarterback who wants to throw at one guy and it handcuffs you. Having a quarterback who wants to throw at 6 guys, that makes it tough for a defense. Now, that said, Jordan Love's average depth of target against the Lions was 11.9. That is beautiful. The games that I was frustrated with Matt LaFleur's play calling were weeks 3 through 9. So in weeks 3 through 9, Jordan Love's average depth of target never got over 9.3. And now he's been in the double digits 2 out of the last 3 weeks. Also, coincidentally, 2 of his last 3 games, he was credited with a PFF grade over 91 of his passing grades. Again, we take passing grades, we take PFF grades with a grain of salt, but there's some consistency there. Steve said, yeah, and without Kraft also. So that Jordan Love also, this is per next gen stats, targeted open receivers on just 6 passes. That's a 20% of his passes. That's a career low, but he completed 4 passes of 20 plus yards, had 3 of them with a defender within 3 yards of the receiver. So that's Jordan Love putting the ball in some super tight windows, making some really good throws. On the coaching aspect of this, in my notes, this is word for word what I wrote in my notes, A fucking plus for Matt LaFleur. I think this is his best called game of the year. If you look start to finish, you look at the first 2 games of the year, those are probably his other 2 best games of the year. And those games, it felt like they got a little conservative towards the end of the game, didn't quite keep the pedal to the metal those games. This game, I don't think that was the case at all. I think they played balls to the wall the whole game. It was perfect. He let Love sling the ball around. He called good plays. He played aggressive, which is brilliant. I like the call to go for it on 4th and 3 at the end of the game. Saw a lot of mixed reviews on that decision to go for that 4th and 3. Bryant and Jake both brought it up. Christian Watson had that drop on 3rd down. That was a good play call because it would have worked if Watson catches the ball. And again, Watson probably tells you he needs to catch the ball. Now, that said, I can be swayed to agree that if you know you're going to go for it on 4th and short, that you run the ball on 3rd and short. I can agree to that to a point, but I also am not going to argue with putting the ball in Jordan Love's hands. The choosing to go for it on 4th and 3, there's perspective involved, and you can flip it either way. And this is the thing with perspective, it can be changed person to person. So the complaint that I saw from some people was that, that means that he doesn't trust the defense to get the stop. And I think the flip side of that is that you trust your defense that if you don't pick up that 4th down, so you're putting your trust in your offense, A, to get it, and then B, to keep the Lions out of the end zone from 53-ish yards away versus 90-ish yards away, depending on how good the punt is. Mm-hmm. So I think you can arguably flip it the other way and say you trust your defense more by trusting them to hold under 35, 40 fewer yards of field position. Mm-hmm. So it's a matter of perspective on that. Scott said I was screaming at my TV when he made that play. glad Wicks caught the ball with a missing shoe. Yeah, and it's a fantastic play. And like Brian said, just the absurdness of the throw that Jordan Love made. The falling away from a defender with basically meeting for a high five as he lets go of the ball, and it's up in an area where only Dontavian Wicks can catch it. As for time of possession, the Packers trailed by 2 minutes. It was 31-29 in favor of Detroit. Both teams ran 60 plays, so it's about as even as you could possibly get. But like Jake said, when he broke down the 3rd and 4th down offenses and defenses, that's pretty much where the game was separated. Mm-hmm. Anything else you guys want to say, Packers and Lions?
No, I'm ready to talk about the Bears.
Yeah. All right, let's do it. Jake, since you were ready to go for it, what are you looking for from the Packers defense against the Bears?
Yeah, Packers defense. So talking about the Bears offense, obviously Ben Johnson is the new head coach for the Chicago Bears. He had a lot to say about the Packers when he was thrust in as the head coach, talking about how he likes to beat. He enjoyed beating Matt LaFleur the last couple of years. Now, me personally, I'm sick and tired of hearing how Ben Johnson is undefeated at Lambeau and how Caleb Williams is undefeated at Lambeau when in that game Jordan Love threw 12 freaking passes. But we'll have that discussion in a couple minutes. In terms of the Packers offense, Packers defense. Packers defense ranks 4th in total yards, 6th in pass yards, and 8th in rush yards. So I don't know why I keep seeing Bears fans saying that the Packers can't stop the run. That's pretty weird when we allow less than 100 yards a game. Pretty weird. Bears offense, they're 6th in total yards, 15th in pass yards, and 2nd in rush yards. Obviously, that rush yards got moved up a ton after their game versus the Eagles because they ran all over them. They had 2 100-yard rushers. Kyle Monangai, Tyler and I are very familiar with him as we watched him at Rutgers last year. He was basically the entire offense, and he was a key for us to stop when the Badgers played Rutgers last year. That was pretty much me, Tyler, and Mike's key. Like, you got to stop this guy because they're not throwing the ball. They had a former Minnesota Golden Gopher quarterback, and he was just horrible, even with that good rushing attack from Monangai. But the rush attack is really the thing that you have to stop. On defense, I don't want to give some stuff away because I have some stuff in my X Factor, so that's all I'll say right now.
Okay. Simon, what are you looking for from the Packers defense?
It's slowing down the Bears rushing attack. I think Caleb Williams has been better this year. I still don't think he has it, or at least in my perception of what I've seen from the Bears this year. I haven't watched a ton of their games, but I think they're winning off of defensive turnovers and their rushing attack. And their offensive line has been so good in the run game. And Joe Thuney has been a great signing for them. I think they gave up a 4th-round pick for him, but it's been well worth what he's able to bring to the table. And then just they need to contain Caleb Williams. He's been an absolute magician as far as avoiding sacks in the pocket and being able to scramble and just pull these plays out of absolute nowhere. So I'm looking for a little bit of I'm looking for a lot from the defensive lineman, interior defensive lineman, this game, and I know that's kind of tragic without Devontae Wyatt. And then I'm looking for maybe a little bit of spy action from Quay or Cooper.
Yeah, I like that. Scott said Bears fans think they'll have over 100 yards each on Sunday, and Love will have 2 interceptions. I don't think either of those things are happening. Steve said Ondunze and DJ Moore have to be frustrated by Caleb's inaccuracy. So many uncatchable balls.
Dude, he's a screen merchant. I swear every time I watch him, he's just throwing screens the whole game.
I want to look it up now just because I want to know exactly what the numbers are on it.
I can tell you right now on the right side of the field, between 10 and 20 and then 20 plus, he is dog shit.
Yeah, he's not good throwing the ball down the field.
Dog.
I mean, his average depth of target is top 10 in the league, but I swear it doesn't equate to what I see on, I don't know.
I mean, he had a big day versus the Bengals. That game
was he's middle of the pack in big time throw rate. He's middle of the pack in big time throws. He's pretty good at not creating turnovers, I will say.
Yeah, he's got 13 turnover-worthy plays. Jordan Love has 11, for what that's worth, considering the fact that Jordan Love has 35 fewer pass attempts.
Yeah, he's so good at scrambling. He has the most time to throw in the league.
Yeah, I'll just say what I'm going to say.
Go for it.
Yeah, so definitely first and foremost, they need to load up and stop the run, which will be a challenge because Chicago is the second best running game in the league this year. I will say if we let them run all over us, it could turn into like a Panther-esque type game pretty quickly that we want to avoid. I'll say kind of like you guys said, we have to make Williams beat us because I don't think he can. So if we jam the line of scrimmage and make him hold the ball, I think he will be in trouble. He's already, been slow getting around the ball. So out of 28 qualifying quarterbacks, Williams is 26 in percentage of throws before 2.5 seconds. That means he's not throwing the ball quickly. He's holding the ball. In fact, he's 60th out of 65 in time of throwing average at 3.3 seconds. Yeah, their offensive line has been good. Good luck holding Micah Parsons for 3.3 seconds on a consistent basis.
Oh, they could probably hold him.
This is where
the ref throws a flag.
Yeah. They have been penalized quite a bit on offense as well. Something like 91 penalties on offense, I think, this year. So it was something crazy. So, he's going to hold on to the ball. So I think what we need to it's also crazy that it's taking 3.3 seconds to throw the ball, but his completion percentage is only 58.1.
He's last in the league in adjusted completion percentage.
Yeah. So he's not hitting people. So what we need to do is pretty much don't let him get quick throws off the line of scrimmage. I would say jam him up a little bit. I don't trust him to hit deep throws. And then Micah Parsons, is gonna, they're gonna be double tripling him. So we're gonna need Rashawn Gary or someone to step up, or maybe some middle linebacker blitzes or something to step up in this game to get quick pressure on Caleb. And like Simon said, when you get your hands on him, make sure you get him down. But they've only given up 16 sacks this year. 6 of those came on the first 2 games when they started 0-6 or 0-2. Excuse me. So 6 of those sacks came then. So really since week 3, they've only given up 13 sacks. But yeah, just, make him make some tough throws because I don't think he's going to complete many of them.
Yeah, and some of the guys, Scott, I know is a big one saying, asking about the guys filling in. Without Devontae Wyatt, it's going to be big on Carl Brooks, Colby Wooden, Warren Brinson, Barron Sorrell, Nazir Stackhouse, all of those guys. Yeah, Justin sent me a Toyota-thon video of Jordan Love. It's it's them animated from the Toyota-thon picture. But they're all more important now without Devontae Wyatt. You get all 3 of those guys I've mentioned already. The Bears want to win by running the ball. And you can look at Ben Johnson said exactly the same thing last week when they're talking about their win against the Eagles. He said, we didn't win because of our passing offense. We won in spite of our passing offense.
And so Michael will be the best pass rusher they've faced so far this year. So absolutely.
So it's going to be interesting. It's strength meeting strength, and that's pretty much where it's at. I mean, the guys covered the run game pretty heavily. So, Bryant, what are you looking for on special teams?
Right.
I think he cut out. He's frozen.
Oh,
I can pretty
Ryan
much
already.
surmise what he's gonna say. Don't mess up.
Don't lose the game for
Yeah,
us.
don't lose the game for us.
Stack a third straight good
Yeah.
Am I
game.
back?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, pretty much what Simon was saying. I can hear you guys. You
I
couldn't hear
know.
me. That's what I get for making fun of Jake's internet. Yeah, so make your kicks. It's going to be tough to kick in Lambeau. Neither of the teams are particularly like dangerous on kickoff returns or anything like that. So make them return the ball, and just once again be smart. Make sure you get those punts and everything like that, and we'll be fine.
Yeah, Steve brought up on the defensive side of the ball for the Packers that Carl Brooks is third on the team with 22 pressures, and Justin said hoping McDuffie can have another great game next week. Yes, regardless of if Quay is back or not. Jumping into offense, Simon, what are you looking for from the Packers offense?
Yeah, I'm looking for a very balanced attack. I like getting Jordan Love involved, and like we were talking about earlier, I think Minnesota game and the Lions game were two very different games for very different reasons. And I think the Bears offense is in totality better than what we saw in Minnesota. So the Bears are giving up an average of 5.2 yards per 138 yards per game on the ground. So I think we have a very good chance of running the ball and creating opportunities for play action. And then just keeping Jordan Love clean. Over the past 4 weeks in a clean pocket, he's 45 of 65 for 502 yards, 6 touchdowns for 122 passer rating, and then just taking care of the ball. Like I said earlier, they're winning because of their run game and and takeaways. They're leading the league in turnover differential, and that's in my opinion not sustainable, but they've been very good at it this year, and we can't be another team to add on to that.
And Steve brought up another similar point. Don't let the Bears score on special teams like last year.
Yeah. Or don't let the ref not throw a holding flag either.
Yeah, well, that's going to happen on Sunday no matter what.
Yep.
Jake, what are you looking for from the Packers offense?
So Simon talked about it. They have forced 17 turnovers. I'm talking about the Bears this year. But the numbers outside of that really aren't that impressive. Total yards, they're 27th in the NFL in total yards, 22nd in pass yards. They give up 359 yards a game, by the way, 225 through the air, and 133.8 on the ground. That is 28th in the NFL. So when they're talking about the Packers can't stop the run, I'm pretty sure they should look in the mirror, but they might not like what they see.
Can I say what I've said to you guys about this since we've talked about it? Oh, the Bears, they get all these takeaways. They also give up a shit ton of yards. They are the 2023 Cowboys defense.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, I mean, if you take it a step further, I don't even remember the name of their corner, but he has forced like 9 turnovers by himself.
Yeah, never mind. I thought you were talking about the Cowboys. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the guy in the Bears. He has like freaking 5
Nicholson or whatever his name is. Yeah.
But I was like, holy shit, dude.
Well, one of the players that has 4 interceptions will not be playing, and that's TJ or their linebacker.
Tremaine Edmonds.
Yeah, Tremaine
Edmonds. So, to combat that, the Packers
Sean Wright.
Total yards. Yeah, that's who it is. They're 13th in pass yards and 16th in rush. Josh Jacobs, hopefully after the 10-day break, is a little bit healthier, and he can run all over this defense because giving up 133.8 yards per game is not good. I don't care who you are. The Packers also have an actual quarterback. So in his 4 games versus the Chicago Bears, he's 62 for 88. That's a 70 completion percentage, 891 yards, 6 touchdowns, and an interception. He had 1 game where he had under 100 rating, and that was last year when he literally threw 12 total passes and played the first half. I'm pretty sure if he played the second half, he would add over 100 rating and probably fried you for 3 touchdowns. I can feel very confident in saying that. The Bears were trash last year. They're trash this year. They're overrated. They're not as good as their record. And I cannot wait to give them the slapping that they deserve.
Brian, what are you looking for from the Packers offense?
Yeah, so this is so as you guys alluded to, their defense has a +17, eye-popping +17 turnover margin. That's almost double the next closest team, who is Houston at +9. So even with all their turnovers, they are bottom 3 in points allowed. So you can score on them if you don't turn over the point. They're either taking the ball away or you're scoring on them, essentially. Be prepared to run the ball down their throats. This defense is allowing, like Simon said, 5.2 yards per carry. With our offense line, starting to get a little more gel, and I feel like they're running the ball better, and it's time for some ugly football. I think there's going to be a chance, we can do that. I know they're going to try to do that to us, so maybe we do it to them. But that being said, then be prepared to beat them with the play action, because there's also 6th worst in the league in average pass yard per pass attempt at 7.6. They allow 67.4 completion percentage. They have allowed 24 touchdowns. Of course, they have the 17 interceptions. A bulk majority of those have come from Byard and Wright. 4 of those interceptions came from a linebacker that will not be playing. And then if we win or tie the turnover battle, I don't know how Chicago beats us cleanly.
Yep, I agree. Looking at passing game distribution, I'll Bryant talk about injuries, but hopefully Love has enough guys, even more guys, to distribute the ball to. More options in my mind means less guys that the Bears can key on. It's a little bit different in Philadelphia, where obviously Goddard and Saquon are close to the line of scrimmage, but in the passing game, there's 2 guys that Jalen Hurts is going to throw the ball to. Mm-hmm. And he got into some situations where he was trying to escape and was looking for just one of those 2 guys and threw a horrible ball that Kevin Byard was easily able to just go grab. Jordan Love doesn't make those mistakes. As much as people want to act like Jordan Love doesn't make good decisions because of how they feel about him 2 years ago when he had 11 interceptions, which guys in the NFL have already exceeded this year while Jordan Love has 3. Jordan Love doesn't put the ball in those positions. So Justin said putting in a parlay with Williams having an interception, a fumble, and Parsons to have a sack. That's reasonable. I'm sure that'll be something that somebody brings up in some Simon Says in a little bit. But as far as red zone goes, Packers are number 3 in the NFL at 67.4% touchdowns. Chicago allows 61%. That is number 24 in the NFL. So none of us have given stats that make the Cowboys make the Bears sound like a good defense, except for their turnovers. So the Packers haven't been a team that turns the ball over. So the Bears' strength is not a weakness for the Packers. It's a strength on a strength.
Real quick, Tyler, just to add to your point, because I was interested, so I looked at it real quick. There's not a quarterback in the top 15 for passing yards this year that have less interceptions than Jordan Love. He has 3, and everyone else has at least 4 or more that have thrown for 27. The same, thrown for the top 15 in the yards in the league.
Yeah. And what is it? Josh Allen, I think, has 11 or 12.
10.
10. Okay.
Justin Herbert 10. Sam Darnold 10. Trevor Lawrence 11. Geno Smith 14.
Yeah.
Woof.
Drake May.
Who else has 10? 9.
Drake May that we are talking about as being MVP candidate 6.
I think Mahomes has a decent amount. Mahomes has 7.
Yeah.
Dak 8.
Yeah. I mean, CJ Stroud has 6, and he only played 6 games or 9 games.
Yeah.
I was trying to find how many Matt Stafford has. Stafford has 4.
4.
Yeah.
And 2 of them came last week.
He's been a stud. Yep. He's been a stud this year.
Russell Wilson has 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray has 3 interceptions.
In the top 20 for yards, actually 21, 22, 23. So you have to get all the way down to Michael Penix, who hasn't played in the last several games. The top 23 yard people that have thrown for yards, there's only one that has less interceptions than Jordan Love, and that's Jalen Hurts.
He takes care of the ball.
Yeah.
Pretty well.
Well, he doesn't have to throw the ball. He runs it.
He runs, yeah.
Right, but he's still bottom. He's last in the league.
Okay, fine.
First in the league in turnover worthy play percentage.
The point is that people
start
are
with
saying
the ball,
Jordan
and we'll
Love
give him
turns the
that
ball
credit.
over a lot. It's just not true. Look at the top 23 yard passer are people that have thrown for passes.
McCarthy has 10.
Yeah, JJ McCarthy has 10 in 6 games. Looking at guys who have 4 interceptions, it just makes me laugh. Tyrod Taylor has 4 interceptions. Cooper Rush has 4 interceptions. Max Brosmer has 4 interceptions.
Damn.
These guys all have more interceptions than Jordan Love in 2025.
Oh, my God.
Did you know? I seen this today. For 2 games in a row, Vikings quarterback would have just
Yeah, I saw
thrown the
that.
ball into the dirt every time, they would have had a better passer rating in both of the games.
I still don't understand how that's like calculated. How do you have 39
I don't
or whatever, 36 or whatever?
Because you're not
passer rating?
turning the ball over at that point.
You're putting the ball in harm's way. Like you're literally
No,
making
I
it
get
worse
that
by
part. I
giving it
just
to the other team.
how is that not a 0 automatically?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't understand passer rating as
I
far
don't
as
know,
that
that's
goes.
I mean,
Well,
the highest
because
passer
you have
rating
to
is
have room for it to
115.3.
not be negative. So like, like the PFF average is like 60. So like you have to be able to go above and below.
That's the other thing I don't understand. They grade quarterbacks so weird with PFF grades.
They grade a lot of things weird.
Yeah, that's fair. But like, there's only 4 guys that are below average in the league. Like, come on.
Yeah. So as far as coaching goes, I would like to see Matt LaFleur beat Ben Johnson's corny ass, just for the fact that like you can't hire somebody without them mentioning the Packers.
I hate that.
The
I
Bears
love that.
cannot hire somebody without them
It's so
mentioning, we're going to beat
cheesy.
the Packers. All of them. So for Matt LaFleur, just keep letting Love sling the ball. Trust him. I don't think it's a game where I don't want to give the other side of the coin, but in the interest of being fair, because we're optimistic and realistic, I don't want to see Matt LaFleur turn to Jordan Love and say, I'm going to protect you by not letting you throw the ball because I don't want you to turn the ball over. I want Matt LaFleur to let Jordan Love make that decision because I believe that Jordan Love is capable of making those decisions. So I don't want to see Matt LaFleur putting the training wheels back on for this game.
Yeah, definitely, Steve.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's jump into injury designations to watch for. Bryant, who are we all looking at? I know it's a long list, I'm sure.
Yeah. So for the Packers, Reed, Lloyd, Cox Jr., and Colin Oliver were all designated for return. It's going to be interesting. Reed's been practicing. I don't think there's a chance Lloyd, Cox Jr., or Oliver will play this game. I think Reed has a okay chance if he plays. I think he'll be limited.
No.
Also, don't be surprised if Colin Oliver practices for 3 weeks and then they just don't activate him. I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, hey, let's just get him to practice and then push him to next year. That's definitely something that could happen with him. But we need the reinforcements. But Colin Oliver is not playing in the middle of the line. He's 245 pounds. I'm excited to see what he has for pass rush moves, but he's not going to help us much this year unless it frees other people up to kick inside. Anyways, aside from them, we have Quay Walker. I'm hoping can get back from that stinger. LVN was in a walking boot yesterday. Now, we've seen Savion Williams wake up in a walking boot the day of a game. However, the way LVN, what he said was basically, it wasn't where he's at, and he's hoping he can turn a corner soon. That doesn't give me high hopes that he'll play this week. It sucks because Wyatt is now on IR. And let's talk about this for a second. I mean, the Packers now lost 3 preferred starters this year, and Jenkins, Wyatt, and Tucker Kraft on IR for the entire year. So, I mean, we're definitely battling through some injuries. So other teams that are like, oh, we have injuries. It's like, yeah, so do we. Thank you. We lost our best weapon on offense at the time that we lost him. So hopefully LVN will be back in the next couple weeks. I don't think he'll be this week. That's going to make Carl Brooks, who also only played 6 snaps in that game and didn't play last week. 6 snaps in the Vikings game, didn't play last week. I'm hoping he can get back because we're going to need him now. If anything, as Steve alluded to get some quick pressure up the middle. And then Nate Hobbs, we'll see what happens with him. And then Golden Williams as well. I'm wondering if Golden didn't play because, it's been a couple weeks. Hopefully they just wanted to rest. I'm hoping we get him back soon. And then same with Savion Williams. And then for the Bears, pretty much their entire linebacking core missed the last game. So that was TJ Edwards, Sewell, and Hippolyte. However, TJ Edwards and Sewell did return to practice today. TJ Edwards, I guess, he has a broken hand, but then he does have a hammy injury, so I guess it'll depend on that. And then Dominique Robinson and Tyreek Stevenson are questionable for him. I know we did rag on their defense a little bit. They did just get Jalen Johnson back and Kyler Gordon, who were out for a while. And if they get TJ Edwards back, those are big pieces for them, so we'll see what they do. But we'll definitely want to keep an eye on, and we don't know if there's There hasn't been much reported of anything else because Matt LaFleur ain't going to come out and tell you unless a reporter directly asks a question, and we haven't had a practice really since. So we'll see a lot tomorrow, so keep an eye on it.
Jake, what's the weather going to be like?
Cold.
It's gonna be cold as shit, man.
Cold.
Caleb better pick his nail polish carefully. It's gonna be cold. Might crack that nail polish. 20 degrees. The real feel is gonna be 11 degrees. It's gonna be dark probably by 4:30, so the lights will be on at Lambeau. It's gonna be a vibe, man. I'm pretty jealous I won't be there, honestly.
Yeah, that sounds good. Simon, who's your X factor?
I have the Packers interior defensive line. Without Wyatt, and I feel like we're very thin at the group right now, and it'll be interesting to see how the Packers coaching staff navigates snap counts for guys, especially with Warren Brinson, who's I think he's played pretty well for a 6th-round rookie. So they're going to need him to step up, and hopefully Carl Brooks can make it back this week, like actually healthy and not on like, oh, we're going to play you on a snap count.
So I'm going to jump in just because I have a very similar one, and I put DeMarcus Covington, the Packers defensive line coach, for figuring out how to patch together the defensive line and stop the run. And the guy I think has the most opportunity to show what he's capable of is Colby Wooden. I know over the last couple of years since we've had him, there's definitely been like flashes where like his play recognition is really good. And I think now with Devontae Wyatt out, I think Colby Wooden, in my opinion, as far as run stopping goes, has the biggest opportunity to prove himself. Bryant, who's your X factor?
Yeah, so I kind of got two, but I'll say the one is mine is the linebacker core, kind of like what you guys are talking about, because I think they're going to need to step up and help that interior defensive line and beat these Bears running backs to some holes because they're banged up front. This is where we need to get Quay Walker back because he's very good at this as well as closing the gap and being there, and also so the linebacking core versus Swift and Monungai, and then just make sure you're swarming the ball carrier.
Jake, who's your X factor?
I have Jeff Halfley versus Ben Johnson. That's going to be the matchup that everybody's talking about on the pregame show. Is going to be everything that they're talking about during the game. Chicago runs a very balanced attack. They throw the ball 53% of the time, run the ball 47% of the time. Packers run man 18.4% of the time, zone 77% of the time. Caleb Williams actually has a better completion percentage versus zone. It's only up to 61%, so it's nothing crazy. That's still below average in my opinion. And the Packers are 11th in the NFL in sack percentage, which is surprising to me. Most of that is obviously Micah Parsons, but they're at 7.21%, and they're 5th in ADOT on defense at 7.24. So those are all going to be things that you look for because Caleb Williams likes to throw the ball short, so that fits right into how the Packers have been playing defense anyways. He holds onto the ball. The Packers have a high sack percentage, high pressure rate. If you stop the run and you force Caleb to try to be a magician, as I've heard him be called, I think things could go the Packers' way. One thing I think that needs to happen is there's been a couple times this year against scrambling quarterbacks where Parsons makes a move inside and allows the quarterback to go outside. He's going to need to keep contained this week. So that's what I'm looking for, Halfley versus Ben Johnson.
I like it. Scott said Parsons, Gary, Wooden, Stackhouse guys to step up. Let's jump into it. Simon, give me your score prediction from the head.
I have us winning 27-24.
Hey, me too.
Tyler, is that you?
Same thing.
Nice.
I got 27-21.
That's better. I like that more.
So there's a little thing I do with the scores that every time the Packers lose, I switch Bryant and Simon's name when I write down the scores on here because I write down everybody's scores every week. So Bryant, good job for you. You're on a 3-game winning streak. I have 31-23 Green Bay.
I'd be very okay with that. All right, from the heart, Simon.
31-13.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
I went 30. I went 31-20. Maybe they'll get a garbage time touchdown.
I also had 31-20. So you guys get that out of my notebook. Thank you.
I will say the Packers defense has been lights out at home.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna say that.
True.
I have 34-16. I have them whooping some ass, dude.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
Love that. Scott said 27-21. That's definitely a head score. All right, let's get into some Simon Says here. And Bryant has probably 13 of them, so I'll let Bryant go first.
Yeah, so my other X factor, my matchup was linebackers. Kind of my X factor is Josh Jacobs. I think we're going into this nasty cold weather. The offensive line has been better, so I put the Packers running backs rush for 150 plus yards and 2 touchdowns.
That works for me because I have Josh Jacobs over 120 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Hell yeah. I like both those. Tyler, you have one on offense?
I do, and it completely goes against what Simon and Bryant just said.
Jordan Love's going to throw for like
What do you have, bro?
I put that Jordan Love is the first quarterback versus the Bears since Jackson Dart in Week 10 to throw no interceptions, and ties Joe Flacco with 4 touchdowns, the most that the Bears have allowed.
Wait, is that true? No, every quarterback's throwing an interception?
It's only
really?
When was it? Week what?
Week 10.
Yeah, that's not that long ago.
It's 3 weeks in a row that they've had an interception.
Shit, I mean, Xavier McKinney had 6 interceptions in a row last year to start it, so that happens.
So mine on offense is Jordan Love has 150 more total yards and 2 more touchdowns than Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I can see that.
I can see that easy, to be honest with you. The 150 might be a little tough if Caleb's running, but
that's why I said total yards.
Yeah,
because I was adding in the rushing yards because Caleb's a pretty good runner. We can give him credit for that.
He's a good runner.
He is. We saw that even last year.
Yep.
All right, Bryant, you got an extra one, or you got to give your defensive one?
This is my defensive one, and I'll just get my extra one too.
Okay.
Micah, as Jake talked about, has 7 of 12 sacks in the fourth quarter. He has a strip sack fumble in the fourth quarter of this game to seal it, like he did against the Giants. And then I put that the Packers get Packers. I know I've said this one before, but it hasn't happened. The Packers get the first defensive touchdown of the year.
Dude,
yeah,
we need one, dude.
Maybe that happens on that strip sack. Early fourth quarter, we're up by 10, and then boom.
I would love for that to happen in Lambeau.
Edge Cooper pick that thing up and run it to the house.
We need a Micah Lambeau leap, dude.
I have Caleb Williams fumbles twice.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Tyler, you got one?
Yes, I have one. It's very numbers heavy. So, similar to my one last week, the Packers are currently allowing 98.3 rushing yards per game. That's number 8 in the NFL. Chicago is averaging 153.8. That's number 1 in the NFL, heavily aided by their game last week. Mine for this week is that Green Bay holds them under 125 total rushing yards and no touchdowns.
I can see it.
Yeah, if we get ahead, there's definitely an ample opportunity for that.
Yeah.
I got 2 things to say. First, Scott, I'm going to tell you something. They should not be talking out of pocket in the first place because they have not beat us enough in recent memory to be talking the way they have.
I have something to say about that when we get there. Scott said
Jacobs 3 TD. That'd be sick.
My one on defense is the Packers have 6 sacks, and they're the ones that force multiple turnovers.
Yeah, 6 sacks might be tough, but that'd be awesome.
Okay, so we can end on this. I saw this is ESPN Radio in Milwaukee. They were saying that Bears fans haven't been talking as much trash because they actually realize that there's something at stake. Because the Packers matchup for them is not their Super Bowl this year because they actually have a good record.
Yep.
Do you guys think that that's true?
Wait, what?
Do you think Bears fans have been talking less trash than they have in years past when they were
No.
I think they're talking the same amount, dude.
Yeah, I think. Have you been on Twitter?
Dude,
Twitter's it's a battlefield right now.
It's terrible, dude.
It's bad.
I said something about my daughter today. I said, "What does she have to do with football?"
Did you see that? Remember that interview that Aaron Rodgers had with that dude from Barstool or whatever?
Yeah.
I shared it in one of the other chats I was in. Essentially, the guy's like, I know I'm a loser because the only thing I root for is the Packers to lose in the playoffs. That's my Super Bowl.
That was Big Cat, dude.
Yeah, Big Cat. That's his name. I couldn't remember his name.
Yeah. Justin said Packers return a punt for a touchdown and Musgrave scores a touchdown this game.
Musgrave, yeah, I'm in on Musgrave, but there's no chance we're returning a punt.
I think it's much more likely that Savion Williams returns a kickoff for a touchdown than the Packers returning a punt.
Dude, the longest 100%. Kick return the Packers had this year is 36 yards. That's the third shortest long kick return.
Like I said, Savion's very good at getting to like the 30, 35, and then he just
have you seen our punt return numbers? They're not good.
Trust me, I looked them up today. They're pretty.
They're not good.
They're historically bad, in fact.
Yeah,
I've seen
kick return maybe, punt return probably not.
Not a chance. I'll
All
come
right,
back
thanks
if it
everybody
happens.
for commenting during the whole show. We appreciate it. That's why we do the shows live so that everybody can get their thoughts out here. Scott said a Williams pick six right after Justin said Evan Williams is a sack and an interception. That's why
We
we do
haven't
the
talked
shows live,
enough
so
about
everybody
Evan
can comment
Williams.
on them. We appreciate that. Again, that's why we do it live so that you guys can get your input on it, so we can bounce stuff back and forth. We appreciate you guys commenting on that. We'll be back, win or lose or tie. Hopefully, Packers don't end up with a 2 in the tie column.
I hope we destroy them 45-6.
We will be back no matter what next Tuesday. And go Pack, go.
Go Pack, go.